The Last Day of School. Written by Jessica Malordi. Illustrated by Chelin Ethiha. Focus question. Who is telling the story? What does this character do on the last day of school? It was the last day of third grade. My classmates and I finished cleaning out our desks. Our teacher, Mr. Brown, passed out the summer reading lists. We even shared our summer goals. What next? I wondered, tapping my feet under my desk. Mr. Brown stood up and cleared his throat. "Now's the time you've all been waiting for," he said. "Is it summer now?" I asked, and the whole class laughed. Mr. Brown chuckled too. "Almost," he said. "But first, time to hand out yearbooks." Everyone cheered, including me. I had completely forgotten about the yearbook. Last year, I'd only asked the other kids in my own class to sign. This year, I wanted all the third graders' signatures. I started with my seatmate, Marisol. "Marisol, will you sign my yearbook?" I asked. "Of course," Marisol replied, and she even took her special pink pen out of her backpack. Pretty soon, my whole class and Mr. Brown had signed my yearbook. Their signatures crisscrossed every page. "Okay, now it's time for the kickball game," Mr. Brown said. Perfect, I thought. The rest of the third graders can sign my yearbook at the game. As the kickball game went on, I asked the other third graders for their signatures. I was so focused on my goal that I hardly noticed when Frankie scored the winning run. By then, I had all the third graders' signatures in my yearbook, except one. John Morgan had hurt his knee sliding into home plate at the start of the game. He had gone to see the school nurse and had not come back. "School's out for summer," Mr. Brown said. "Thanks for a great year. And have a wonderful vacation, everyone." Suddenly, I wasn't ready for summer vacation yet. Instead, I ran to the nurse's office. John was sitting on the cot with his head in one hand. With the other, he held a bag of ice on his knee. "Hi, John," I said, skidding into the room. John looked up and gave me a weak smile. "Would you please sign my yearbook?" I asked. John's tiny smile suddenly turned into a big grin. "Yes, but only if you sign mine," he said. We traded our books. I opened his and saw only a few names here and there. When I looked over at John, he was running his fingers over all my signatures. "I wanted to have everyone sign mine this year," he said sadly. "Then I got stuck in here." His smile had turned into a frown. "I know what to do," I said. "My parents said I can have a big birthday party in July. If you come, you can have lots of kids sign it then." "Really? John said, and his smile came back. I nodded. That would be great, he said. Together, John and I walked out of the nurse's office. I left school this year with a full yearbook and a new friend. Not a bad way to start the summer. Connections. Writing and art. Draw a picture and continue the story at the birthday party. Math. John wants all his classmates to sign his yearbook. There are 30 students in the class. 3 students have already signed. How many students still need to sign his yearbook? Hint: John does not need to sign his own yearbook.